Behind the scenes at the Jefferson Health Training Complex, Howie Roseman is opening the doors for two names that are going to make you do a double take on your phone. Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas were invited for a tryout with the Eagles this weekend. And no, you did not read that wrong, my friend. Two of the biggest names in NBA history suddenly showed up on the Eagles minicamp guest list. Except these two do not play basketball. They play football. And one of them could very well end up wearing green and silver come September. I'm going to tell you everything about what is happening at Eagles rookie minicamp this weekend, who this Michael Jordan is that the franchise brought in for an evaluation, why Philadelphia's offensive line has become an urgent rebuilding zone, and what that means for the team's chances in 2026. But first, if you are a die-hard Eagles fan who wants every update from this offseason, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now, because this story has a lot more layers than the famous name suggests. The news came Friday from reporter Ari Meirov of the 33rd Team, who posted on his official X account that the Eagles invited guard Michael Jordan and defensive end Isaiah Thomas to participate as tryout players at this weekend's rookie minicamp. The coincidence of the names did not go unnoticed by anyone. One fan on X summed it all up in a single line: "Last Dance, Eagles Training Camp Edition." And look, it is hard not to laugh. The odds of two NFL players who share names with two of the greatest legends in NBA history being invited to a tryout at the same time are astronomical, unless someone in the Eagles personnel department has a very specific sense of humor. But jokes aside, who exactly is this Michael Jordan the Eagles are evaluating? Michael Jordan, the lineman, not the man with 6 rings from the Chicago Bulls, stands 6 feet 6 inches tall and weighs 312 pounds. He is a guard, an offensive lineman, and his NFL journey tells the story of a veteran who has bounced through several franchises in search of a stable opportunity. In the 2025 season, he started 9 games for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South, which is where the headline on this story comes from. Before that, in 2024, he started 11 games for the New England Patriots. Over 7 seasons in the NFL, Jordan has accumulated approximately $6.2 million in career earnings. But how did he end up with the Buccaneers in 2025? Simple: an injury. All-Pro Tristan Wirfs, considered one of the best offensive tackles in the NFL, went down with an injury that created an immediate need on Tampa Bay's line. Jordan, a veteran available with starting experience, was exactly the kind of player the team needed in that moment. He answered the call and started 9 games. It was not a campaign that is going to end up in the history books, but it was functional, and in the NFL, sometimes functional is everything you need. From a performance standpoint, PFF, the most respected analytics service in the league, gave Jordan an overall grade of 51.4 in 2024, placing him 109th out of 136 eligible players. In 2025, his numbers dropped even further, 49.7, ranking him 74th out of 81 eligible players at his position. Those are not numbers that inspire blind confidence, my friend. But there is one interesting detail. In 2024, Jordan was considerably better in pass protection, a grade of 60.4, than he was in run blocking, where he received just 44.8. For a team that is investing heavily in rebuilding its offense in 2026, that distinction matters. Now let's get to the heart of the question. Why are the Eagles even looking at a guard with mediocre PFF grades who has been unsigned since the end of last season? Because the Eagles' offensive line has entered full reconstruction mode. The 2025 campaign was a disappointing one for the Eagles' offensive front in a way that the franchise's fans were not used to seeing. After fielding one of the best offensive lines in football during the Super Bowl 59 championship run, the Eagles' front wall took a major step backward the following year. Guard Landon Dickerson played through most of the season in pain, and still only missed 2 games, which says a great deal about his character and his toughness. But he was not operating at the level Eagles fans have come to know, and that collective decline in the line's performance was reflected directly in the offense's production numbers. Howie Roseman's response was direct: rebuild the staff, rebuild the group. First, the franchise parted ways with Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach who had been with the Eagles for over a decade, and who built much of the team's physical identity. It was both a symbolic and a practical decision, an acknowledgement that something needed to change at the position. Then, in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Eagles selected 2 linemen. Offensive tackle Markel Bell from Miami in the 3rd round with the 68th overall pick, and offensive guard Micah Morris from Georgia in the 6th round with the 207th overall pick. Two young players with different profiles but the same mission: rebuild the offensive trench that protects Jalen Hurts. And it is exactly in that context that a tryout with Michael Jordan makes complete sense. A tryout at rookie minicamp is not a signing. It is not a guarantee of anything. It is an evaluation. It is the Eagles personnel department saying, "We want to see this player up close. We want to measure how he fits in our new system. We want to understand whether he can give us something useful in July's training camp." If Jordan performs well this weekend, the natural next step would be a training camp invitation, which would be the real opportunity to earn a contract and a roster spot. The real question becomes, what is the realistic role for a player like Jordan with the Eagles in 2026? Depth. That is the role. It is not the most glamorous role in football, but it is one of the most essential. When you have a Landon Dickerson who spent an entire season playing through injuries, when you are introducing two rookies to your offensive line, when you just changed offensive line coaches, you need veterans who know the league, who can be used in emergency situations, who can help develop the young players in the daily grind of practice. Jordan, with 7 NFL seasons under his belt and stints with the Bengals, Panthers, Packers, Patriots, and Buccaneers, knows this league. He knows what it takes to start games at the NFL level. That kind of knowledge has real value inside a locker room that is rebuilding. And as for Isaiah Thomas, the defensive end, not the point guard from Boston, the report names him as the second player invited for a tryout, but provides no additional details about his background or statistics. The available information is simply that he is being evaluated by the franchise as part of the same group of tryout players at this weekend's rookie minicamp. Taking a step back to see the full picture, what does this tryout reveal about the Eagles' mindset during this offseason? It reveals that Howie Roseman is leaving no stone unturned. With salary cap pressure limiting high-cost moves on the free agent market, with 2 rookie linemen needing time to develop, and with the Eagles' competitive window wide open right now, while Jalen Hurts is in his prime, every depth detail matters. A veteran guard available at a minimum salary, who can hold his own in pass protection at a reasonable level, who can cover emergencies across an 18-week regular season. That has real value. The Eagles' offensive line is going to look very different in 2026 than it has in previous years. Roseman knows that. Sirianni knows that. And Jalen Hurts himself knows better than anyone what happens when the protection up front starts to crack. With an offensive line in reconstruction mode, 2 rookie linemen being introduced, Landon Dickerson chasing a fully healthy season, and now a tryout to bolster depth at the position, do you believe the Eagles can rebuild the offensive wall that was the foundation of Super Bowl 59? And what do you think needs to happen for Jalen Hurts' line to become the best in the NFC again? Drop your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Eagles news.